14 months it's been since I first read Spy Family. 14 months. And I am shocked at how much I forgot. And also, weirdly, there were some little moments that I remember, even though they weren't important moments whatsoever. So I'm like, it's funny how my memory works. Like, I forgot a good chunk of this volume and the setup of the story. But there are things like, say for instance, when Yor is holding Anya's hand in the kind of theme park where they've gone, and you're always thinking, oh, you know, holding her hand is so sweet. It reminds me of when I used to hold my brother's hand, except I accidentally broke some of his bones. And then Anya, obviously, like, she can hear because she's a telepath. She has that face, you know, that face she pulls when something horrific has just been said in someone's mind and she hears it. For some strange reason, I remember that, but I didn't remember that Yor, she is an unmarried female and she is 27 years old. And for some reason in this world, it's really suspicious if a woman isn't married. Like, that's pretty important. But somehow I remembered a really random story about her accidentally breaking her brother's bones. Like, but I loved it. It's honestly such a fantastic first volume. It has such a unique story and premise. At least I think so anyway. I've never really read anything spy related. I do love spy movies, like Spy Kids for instance. But the fact that Lloyd, he is our main character, codenamed Twilight, he has this mission where he needs to get close to somebody and find out some plans, because the person he needs to get close to is a grave threat to the East and the West. There are talks about potentially some kind of war. Your mission is to get close to him and probe into any seditious activities. In order to do so, you will marry and have a child. And I love when Lloyd gets that assignment because he is just reading just casually and he takes a sip of his coffee and then he reads you have to marry and have a child and he just spits out the coffee but his face doesn't change. The humour in Spy Family is absolutely second to none. So good, so funny, and I love how the humour is balanced with moments of such cuteness and adorableness. Like Anya, honestly, everything she does, you just burst. You absolutely burst. When Lloyd and Anya go to the apartment for the first time and they meet one of their neighbours and Lloyd tells her, you're my child and you've always been my child, okay, remember that? And then Anya says to this neighbour, hi, I'm Anya and I've always been my papa's child. And like, she says things without thinking sometimes and it just adds to how funny and adorable this is. As I said, this vlog will be filled with spoilers, and I've decided to go volume by volume rather than arc by arc because the arcs aren't really official, so do be wary of that going forward, but I probably won't mention every single plot point that happens, which is what I find interesting. So Lloyd acquires a child relatively easily actually. He manages to get Anya, no paperwork really has to be signed or anything, he gets it quite easily, but it's the way that Lloyd is trying to figure out how to even approach a child really. Like, he tries to research it and he's like so lost, like he is this formidable spy, but raising a child, definitely one of his hardest missions yet. And I love the way he kind of tries to tie his experience as a spy with raising a child. So he reads, children might not be able to convey their feelings verbally, so try to sense what they're experiencing. So he's like, so no interrogations then. And again, it's just like little moments like that. It just builds his character. He feels so real. All the characters feel so real. I know it's the first volume and usually it takes me a little while for me to fall in love with characters or for them to feel believable to me. But from the off, I genuinely think Tatsuya Endo is so great at character work. And Lloyd as well, when he says that the reason he became a spy was so that he could make a world where children never need to cry again kind of thing. Oh my god. I'm falling in love. I'm falling in love with him. I really am. And this needs to stop. I need to stop falling in love with manga characters too quickly. But like, he's good with children. Or at least he's trying to be. And he's just like so adorable. And just like, oh my god, he's perfect. He's so good. Because how proud Lloyd is when Anya passes her first test. And he picks her up and he's like, great job. I did good, you did very good. Just, oh my god. It's already got me hook, line and sinker, you know what I mean? I can't believe it's been this long for me to pick Spy Family up again. I loved the first volume when I first read it. I had all of these feelings when I first read it, so I only have myself to blame. Oh, I've got loads of photos of my favourite moments, but when Anya crawls into lying with Lloyd while he's sleeping on the sofa, and then he kind of just like wakes up and drops it to the ground. Like, he's so unaware sometimes, but I love the fact that we are slowly getting this family dynamic, and it's just perfect. It really is. And obviously it's messy because this is for a mission. It isn't really that Lloyd adopted a child because he wanted to adopt a child. it's literally just because of a mission. But the way that we, progress in this volume, I genuinely think it's going to be way more than him just adopting a child for a mission. Like, his heart is going to get into it, and I can already see it happening. Oh, Yo. Okay, so I really like Yo too. I think she's awesome. She is an assassin. She's called the Thorn Princess, and she's very good at her job. But she also has like another job, and the people she works with are awful. Like, I know there's the whole thing about unmarried women being suspicious and stuff, but the way that the other women in her office, like the way they treat her, like say for instance later on when Yor takes Lloyd to the party of like all the work people being there, and this specific person, I don't remember her name and I don't care to remember it, she's a bitch, but the way that she just treats Yor, she's just so mean. It's just like, why? Even Yo is like, is she taking pleasure in this? Like, why is she possibly being this way? So I totally forgot about that whole side of things too. But Yo is incredible. I love her. I love the fact that Anya heard her thoughts and heard that she's an assassin, and the way that Anya just thinks everything is so cool. She thinks Lloyd being a spy is cool, she thinks Yor being an assassin is cool, but obviously Yor and Lloyd don't know about each other, but Anya knows about both of them, but they don't know about her being a telepath. This is like genius. Like, this is so genius. Oh, and then when Lloyd finally manages to get to the party because he was in a bit of a scuff with a mission, and he's late to this party that Yor had invited him to, and he accidentally says that he is her husband pretty much straight away. But it's the way that that horrible, mean, nasty woman was trying to make Yor seem awful by the fact that she had a job where she gave massages and stuff, but she was like very suggestive about it. But the way that Lloyd is like, I admire that. I admire the fact that Yor did what she had to do to survive and provided for her family. Oh god, like, is he not just perfect? They both found each other and it's beautiful. The way that she says, like, will you marry me, like, straight away, and like, usually things like this, it's like, oh, that's so quick, but there's a reason for it. But the way that Lloyd, they're being chased by some bad people, and Lloyd has this bomb thing, and he takes the thing out of it. I'm not a spy, so I don't know terminologies, but he takes the thing out of it and it has this kind of ring on it, and he throws the bomb at the bad guys and puts the bomb ring on Yor's finger, and they're pretty much getting married like right there and then. It's just so funny because then you also see the explosion behind them. It's kind of romantic. In a weird way, it's kind of romantic. So seeing this really strange, bizarre family trying to bond also, when they take Anya to the museum, and Lloyd is like, okay, we need to immerse ourselves in culture and the fine arts and the like, and then you see Anya in the background pointing at a painting, and she says, Papa, boobies, I can see her boobies. It's just so immature, but so perfect, and that made me laugh way too hard, and it shouldn't have really. And you can see how amazing they would work together too. When that guy steals that old woman's purse, and Yor instantly goes in to try and, get this purse back, but Lloyd and Anya's using her telepathy to kind of find him amongst the crowd, and she finds him, and she's smart enough to be like, oh, Papa, I want a cake. And she points in the direction of like the cake place. And that's how Lloyd sees the person who had gotten away, like the thief had blended in. And they managed to get the purse back. But the way that they work together, oh my gosh, I can only imagine in the future the kind of shenanigans they will get up to. And I know they're all keeping everything secret from each other. And Anya, bless her heart, she thinks that if, anyone finds out she's a telepath, because in the past people have, and they've wanted to experiment in stuff like that. So I can imagine Anya is feeling so overwhelmed and doesn't want to lose this new family that she has. So I'm like, what will happen when they all find out? What happens when Yor and Lloyd find out that Anya's a telepath? What happens when Lloyd and Yor find out about each other? I'm hooked. I was so intrigued by what happens next. Like, I cannot wait to read volume 2 now. But I'm so intrigued to find out if Anya had passed this interview thing at the academy that they go to. And Yor and Lloyd, and even Anya, they're just perfect, absolutely perfect. The elegance, as that man says, is like the pure elegance. I love how hard it was to just get in, and also, with all of the people watching as they get into the academy, and all the other applicants are coming in, and all the teachers are watching, people are getting failed by just the way they look, and the way that Lloyd is just, he's got 2 changes of clothes. He's on it. He is so good at what he does. And the way that he and Yor defend Anya when that one guy who is questioning them says something about like, who do you love more, your old mummy or your new mummy? And like how painful that's just awful. I love the fact that the other teacher, the one who kept shouting, elegance, elegance, I love the fact that he was like, that was too far, and then ended up punching him. That was incredible. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, I have no idea if they get in or not. I think they do, but I'm not 100% sure. But I do love the elegance guy. I hope we see more of him. Just the way that he just shouts elegance, it's almost like he's overcome with emotion every single time something elegant happens. Bless him. At first I thought he was going to be a villain or a bad guy, but he seems actually kind of like a pretty decent guy. Oh, and when Anya says that she would give Lloyd and Yo a perfect 100 points, they're lots of fun and I love them. I want to be with them forever. Oh my god. Oh god, this mission. Like, it's gonna hurt if they ever end the mission and they go their separate ways. Don't play with my girl's emotions like that, please. I beg. I hope they do stay together forever. It's like one of those things, you know, where, oh, you know, it started as a mission, but then I did fall in love with being a family. You know, that's what I want to happen, and I am ready. I am so ready to see that happen.